Hello, friends, and welcome to the continuing summer series with ASU Athletics, a way to keep you informed on everything that's going on. And there are a few things going on around here in ASU Athletics. And today we focus on women's basketball. I'm Jeff Munn, play-by-play broadcaster for ASU women's basketball. And boy, is it an exciting time around here. So I'm not going to go in any long explanations. I'm going to get right to the person that has all the info that I know you want to hear about. And that's ASU head coach Natasha Adair. Coach, how are you?
Jeff, how are you? I'm doing great. Excited to be here. Excited to talk all things ASU women's basketball.
Yeah, the great thing is we've known about the additions to the roster, but now you've had a couple of weeks of practices to see this team. And
Right.
let's go back a little bit.
Okay.
This roster looks vastly different than it did when the clock hit zero in Las Vegas. And I think the biggest thing is, I'll tell a little behind-the-scenes story. The night that you announced that Kennedy Basham had announced her intention to transfer, I sent you and Carter Kaplan, our director of operations, a text, and all it said is, "We've got rebounds."
We've got rebounds. We've got rebounds.
It's more than just Kennedy Basham, though, and I wanted to give you a minute to talk about that.
Absolutely. I mean, that was one of the things that you and I talked about, and you did, and I have to agree that came through my phone, and I just smiled from ear to ear. But it is. We have 8 new players, so a completely different roster from a year ago, and we have height, we have size, we have rebounds, we have athleticism, we have versatility. My staff, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say that my staff went to work. When that clock hit zero, there were things that we had identified, even during the year, throughout the year, that we really need. And they pinpointed from day one. They knew exactly who was in the portal. We were the first to respond, the first to call, to get them on campus, and just the process to do all of that, and the turnover and how you make that transition so quickly. I have to, Michaela Walker obviously is our recruiting coordinator, but it was all the coaches leaning in and making sure the kids got here. Our players did a phenomenal job, Jeff. The players they know what we need. And when they saw the size, they smiled, right? Like they were like, okay, we're getting those rebounds. But I'll say it was a total team effort from start to finish, the identifying the talent, but also once they stepped on campus, they knew they could see where they fit. A lot of them will talk about it feels like family right away, but then the resources and the support, and even in the transition from Pac-12 to Big 12, we don't lose that competitive edge. We don't lose the opportunity to put ourselves in a position to be Big 12 champions, to get that tournament berth and compete in the NCAA tournament. So the goals don't change, but I will tell you, we now can check off the boxes, and so I'm excited. As we're in the gym and as we're seeing it start to take shape, my smile gets bigger and bigger.
I know. I've been there at practice, and I can understand why. The other thing I think that's important for our fans to remember is not only do you have all these newcomers, which bring size, athleticism, shooting ability, you
Correct.
get back a point guard to get them the ball.
Ty Skinner is back, right? Ty Skinner is back, and after a long year with her on the sideline, but we talked about her on the sideline, and we talked about her growth, Jeff. You got to see it. She got to see the game from a different lens, and I think that's going to help her this year on the court from a leadership standpoint. Just knowing more from a point guard's perspective, where the ball's supposed to go, time and score, what are the best looks, what are the best options. But I just think that she's a dominant player with the ball, that she's used to the ball in her hands. But I think being sidelined with that injury really helped her learn now how to be more efficient in getting everyone involved, making sure every player just feels their value and their worth on the court, and just her leadership. I just think that every life lesson that we learn, whether it be through adversity or whatever experiences, I think this was a really big teaching moment for Ty, and just seeing her on the court, she really doesn't look like she skipped a beat. So a credit to trainers, doctors, strength and conditioning. Again, it's the team, it's the resources that we have here, and so I'm super excited to have her back.
Yeah, and the other thing I want to touch on in this first segment, and you just mentioned strength and conditioning. You have got a new strength and conditioning coach that I know everybody, players, coaches, are very excited about, and we don't want to overlook that either.
No, I mean, Abby has done a phenomenal job. Again, she was here when that clock hit zero. There were a lot of changes that were made, but Abby has come to us with a wealth of experience. Again, and she was at Wisconsin women's basketball, Old Dominion women's basketball, so she's no stranger to athletics, to women's basketball specifically. And when she was introduced to the team, and we in our kind of our spring workouts, she just really, first thing, I think it was the buy-in from the players, the trust. She knows what she's talking about. But when the players come to you, Jeff, and say, Coach, my body feels stronger. Ice told me she can touch the rim now. So here we go. Watch out, right? But she just says, all the players are like, my body, right? My body feels better. I look better. I look stronger. I feel stronger. And that's just within the spring. And so now as we're in the summer and we have time to just, with the new players, just build that chemistry in the weight room, on the court, that strength, that athleticism, that speed, that quickness, agility, it's going to be a game changer for us. So we were so happy that Abby said yes. And from day one, you can just see the impact of her being here.
Yeah, and I've seen it too firsthand. We've got a lot of the newcomers that are coming on this program today, along with Ty Skinner. So we got a lot of ground to cover. So friends, stay right where you are. We're gonna, and Coach is gonna stay here. She's gonna.
I'm not going anywhere.
If any of the players have something that Coach wants to jump in and add to it, that's the value of this podcast, Sun Devil Nation, that you're going to hear from the coach all the way through. And we will have one of those newcomers coming up for you in just a few seconds. So stay where you are. As we continue on this summer series podcast focusing on ASU women's basketball, as we go through this, I know that some of you are saying to yourselves, boy, there's a lot of excitement going on with this program. I need some season tickets. We'll tell you a little bit later on about how you can get on the list for season tickets, and I can tell you that Coach A is going to tell you better do it as soon as you can. We are very excited, and I told the story in our first segment about texting Coach A the night that our first guest officially announced that she was joining the program, because she brings an awful lot to the table that is going to be very valuable to this program. And she's from the Valley, which makes this even more special. And we welcome Kennedy Basham to our Summer Series podcast. And we welcome you home, Kennedy. It must feel awfully good to be back in the Valley on a regular basis.
Oh, it's amazing. The weather, amazing. It's super exciting with my family. I'm really excited.
I know firsthand from being around Coach A the last couple of years why players gravitate to her. Tell me about your experience of connecting with Coach A and what convinced you, and I'm sure it didn't take very long, that this is where you wanted to be.
Oh, honestly, I knew from the first moment I talked to Coach A, especially my first moment that I walked on campus, even the whole coaching staff, but especially her. I just knew she had that faith in all of her players, the faith in her team, the want to win, the want to get all of us better, the want to get all of us to the next level. So I believed her. I knew her from as soon as I spoke to her. So honestly, I was just excited to get to work with her, and I knew that she was the person that could take me to the next level.
I see Coach A smiling. She's loving this. Yeah, this is terrific. Well, this is... go ahead, Coach.
Well, no, and I'm smiling because Kennedy is talking about that, but I'm thinking about all the work that we're doing right now, just in the gym, and I'll let her talk a little bit about that. But just from the time she stepped on campus and the rest of her teammates, it's about exactly what she's talking about. It's about working. It's about building our team, our chemistry, our culture, to win, but also to continue to develop. Because we want to hear her name called. She wants to hear her name called, and so the beauty of us being here in the Valley, we are the team that hosts a lot of WNBA teams for practices. And so she gets to see them practice. She gets to see them real time. There's just so much excitement here. And so we're just super, super excited. She said yes, and glad that she's home. But most importantly, we're in the gym, and she's working extremely hard.
Yes, she is, and I can vouch for that, having been to a number of practices. Kennedy, you come to ASU from the University of Oregon. You had some real success in the Duck program under Kelly Graves, and I guess that I've watched you in practice, and I've noticed that your game is much more than just being in the low post, that you can step back and shoot from the wing. Tell our fans a little bit about, there's an awful lot that you bring to the table other than just grabbing rebounds and blocking shots.
Yeah, I think definitely with my height kind of is like, oh, she's a post player, she likes to be under the basket, but I've always loved shooting the ball, and I've always loved being out on the perimeter, putting the ball on the floor more. So I think that comes with having coaches and a team that are behind you and that have that trust in you. And I think that's the biggest thing, is having players and coaches that are behind you. So I feel like since I have all these people around me that have that confidence in me, that's what's giving me that motivation to get my three-point shot consistent and put the ball on the floor more and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, and it's I think the other thing, and we talked about this with Coach A in the first segment, it's got to be awfully exciting for you to have a point guard that can get you the ball and do it consistently.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, all the guards here are amazing. I obviously haven't had a chance to see a lot of them play yet, which I have in practice. And I can just see the players we have, the guards we have, everybody on the team. So especially Ty and Ice, I've seen them. I've played against them. I know what kind of players they are, and those are the type of players that I want to play with. Players that I know that can get the ball inside, players that I know that can score the ball, that can pass the ball. So that's definitely really exciting, and I'm excited to just get to play with them even more and more as the season goes on. That's
the other thing, especially at the offensive end. If you get an offensive board, you've got a lot of options on what to do next. Either go back up with it. You've got Ice who can shoot from outside. Ty can shoot from outside. You can go on and on down the list. Mallory Miller can shoot from outside. So it's really an awful lot of pressure to put on a defense. If you grab an offensive board, it's not necessarily going right back up.
Exactly. There's too many options for me to just put it back up. I mean, that's always the first look, but I have so many options outside of myself. That's why it's going to be super exciting.
Coach, I know you love that phrase, too many options.
Yeah,
well, maybe there's never too many options.
Never too many.
I think the biggest thing too is the scout, right? How do you prepare? We can play so many different ways, right? We can go inside, we can go out, we can go big, we can go small. The versatility in which we're going to play, and the pace in which we're going to play with. We had a lot of players, because we weren't as deep, that had to log a lot of minutes. And so that I don't want them to play 40 minutes if they don't have to. I want players to go in fresh. There's enough, and it's my responsibility to make sure that there's enough to go around. But we're going to play a pro style. Because again, that's the goal, that's the transition for our team. But we have so many ways that we can play, so many options, and I'm just looking forward to it. But just a fun story, just to make you laugh, Jeff. We talked about Ty and passing. I will tell you, they have to learn how to pass to Kennedy. And Ty trying to shoot behind her, she's like, I can't see, right? She's learning how to adjust. And those are things, though, right now we're working on in skill work, or working on in the gym, the right pass. How we want to lead, not just Kennedy. We have other height. We have 6'6", we have 6'5", we have 6'4", and so you're going to see us play out of ball screens. You're going to see us isolate on the elbow, middle ball screens, just different options. But those are the things that we're working on now. So November 4th, it'll be poetry in motion.
Kennedy, tell me a little bit. I know that your family probably got up to Eugene quite a bit to see you play, but it's got to be really exciting both for them and for you to know that they can just drive down here to Desert Financial Arena and see you play now.
I know, it's super nice. My mom was like, I can come stay the night with you after the games. I was like, I don't know about that, but it's a very close drive for you to go back home right after. But yeah, no, I'm super excited. My brother plays down at NAU, so I can hopefully maybe make one or two of his games because it's super close now. But yeah, it's super exciting being it. Also, my friends too, they get to come down to the games. I have friends from high school that go to ASU and U of A and stuff, so they'll get to come down to my games as well. So that's super exciting too.
Tell me also a little bit about, Coach A referenced the fact that a number of WNBA teams have utilized the Weather Up Center for practices. The Dallas Wings, as we're taping this, they're wrapping up their game with the Mercury today downtown. And how much you learn from watching these WNBA teams practice. Tell me a little bit about that, Kennedy, about what you have learned watching. There's been 3 or 4 teams that have come through. Connecticut, Indiana, Dallas. You probably have learned a great deal just watching them practice.
Yeah, I mean, even just having them come in and out of the facility is super cool, just to see some of these players that you see all the time, and you look up to certain players that you get to see come in and out of the facility that you work out at. But just watching the practices, I mean, we watched the Dallas Wings yesterday, and just looking at the bigs, the way that they move, the way that they're setting screens, the way that they're hustling, like just watching them is very motivating, I feel like, for me. Kind of watching them practice, getting to see them prepare for a game is super cool. And I think it's more motivating than anything, and just getting that excitement to hopefully play at that level eventually. So,
Coach, we can't get into specifics, obviously, for obvious reasons, but I would think that these teams that come in see Kennedy Basham and probably start asking you questions about, okay, how much eligibility does she have left?
Well, I will tell you, you know, when Ken walks in the room, they ask questions, but they already know, right? They know who she is. They know about her. And so that's the beauty of just having these relationships at the next level. But the goal right now is for our team. Right. And it's as we continue to build chemistry, and we want to make sure we do it the right way and continue to grow and develop each player. But, you know, that's just the beauty of when you walk into our gym, you see elite players. You're going to see an elite style, and they're going to attract a lot of professional teams. But that's the goal. But right now, it's just about development and growth and continue building as a unit.
And we like to use the phrase family that starts with Coach A. So in wrapping this up, Kennedy, I'll just say welcome to the Sun Devil women's basketball family. We're thrilled to have you here, and we can't wait to see you on the floor coming in November. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Kennedy Basham with us. We will continue with more of our podcast, this summer series podcast. Another guest coming up, and Coach A sticking around, so you stick around too. We continue now with our Summer Series podcast, focusing in on ASU women's basketball. We've got so much news going on with this program. We're going to do 3 of these this summer. So, as they say in broadcasting, watch your local listings for the next podcast that comes up after this one. And as I said, we'll have 2 others other than this one. But we are staying with the theme of new players who are actually coming home in this segment as we welcome to this program. A little difference in that our guest is coming home, but has played at a couple of schools in a conference ASU is joining, the Big 12. And we welcome to our podcast, Heavenly Greer. Great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
You have the difference in this instance, as opposed to Kennedy Basham, is you've played at 2 schools in the Big 12, at Oklahoma and Kansas State. And I would think for a program, and Coach, you can jump in on this too, that's got to be a real advantage to help your teammates kind of get a feel for what they're going to walk into when Big 12 play starts after the first of the year.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think so too, Jeff, because again, you know, when we go play, obviously, Kansas State, but every opponent, you know, she has an upper hand. She has her own little personal scouting report. Now, I'm sure each roster will look a little different, but environment, if we're going on the road, she kind of knows. She can tell her teammates. She can let us know what it's going to be like playing, you know, at Oklahoma State. What it's going to be like playing at Texas Tech. What's that environment? And just her maturity, right? She's a veteran. She's not new to this. So I think having all of that is an advantage for us in so many ways. And so, was that an added bonus? Absolutely. But I just think that, what Hev's going to bring to us, one, aside from I think all of them have a chip on their shoulder, right? They still have some things that they want to prove, but she just brings a different level of competitiveness, athleticism, rebounding, and they know that that's the word, rebounding.
Right.
But just her ability to stretch the defense, her ability to score. She's another one that we're working on throwing it down. She can grab the rim, she can get up there, but just her energy and enthusiasm. She's a warrior. She's a beast. She's a competitor. And so, and a matchup nightmare, right? She can shoot it on the perimeter. She can take you inside. So I just love the versatility of Hev. I love the versatility of our players. But I just love their excitement and enthusiasm. And for sure, having the experience in the Big 12, having that postseason NCAA experience, that's where we want to go. And so to have a veteran that's already been there is just a bonus for our team.
I'm glad you pointed that out too, because Hev does have NCAA tournament experience, and have Coach talked about the fact that you bring so much versatility offensively. Fans may look at it and say, wow, she's 6'3", she's a rebounder, and you are, but there's so much more to your game than just rebounding, isn't there?
Yeah.
In terms of, you like to run the floor. Coach has talked about that.
Mm-hmm. I like
talk about some things. And talk about some things that we're working on now, Hev, just within your game and how we're expanding your game.
Yeah, just as far as like right now, just like becoming like that layer player, pushing my shots to the perimeter a little bit more, dribbling more, getting my handles down more, just those things, getting my shot off right, and posting up more and being more aggressive. I think those things we're working on right now. So it's gonna like acclimate good into the Big 12 this year for season.
Now, you're a Phoenix native. How many of your teammates have you had to explain this whole summer heat thing to?
All of them.
All of them? Yeah.
Yeah, every day they'll be like, I don't know if you're up here. Like, I'm like, you get used to it.
I still say you can do a summer here easier than 90 and 90 on the East Coast, and Coach A's been through that. I'm a native too, Hev. So to me, dry heat, I'll take it. But it's also got to be really good and fun to get into the weather up center where the AC's working, and you can, however long you need to spend in the weather up center, it's no problem because the AC is on.
Yeah, it's blowing. Yeah,
it's an absolute bonus. I asked Kennedy this. I'll ask you. What attracted you to Arizona State? Obviously, being from here. But I know, and again, this goes back to my own dealings with Coach A. I know what players appreciate about Coach. What was it that you saw in Coach A that convinced you that this was the place you wanted to be?
Like entering the transfer portal, I had my set things of coaches that I wanted to play for. I had a checklist. So talking to Coach A and doing my own research about the program, with her time being here, I think she checked off everything I wanted on my list as far as what head coach I wanted to play for. What have I not experienced in a head coach before. So I think it's just that this program is like family orientated. She pushes her players, the team. I'm on visit. I came here and they love her. They spoke highly of her, and that's what I wanted to hear from players too. So I think it's just that. And then being home is a bonus, but I really just want to play for a head coach that's going to like believe in me and push me to be my greatest. So,
well, that's terrific, and that's very true. She will do that for you. Heavenly, we are so pleased to have you as part of the Sun Devil women's basketball family. Like I said to Kennedy, we can't wait to see you on the floor in November. Continued success at the Weather Up Center and developing your game, and we'll see you soon at Desert Financial.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Heavenly Greer, with us on the Summer Series podcast. When we come back, we've got, I told you, we've got guests. It's just an endless supply of guests. You want to hear from these players, you're going to hear from them. So stay where you are. Well, friends, we're glad that you're with us on this Summer Series podcast. And I mentioned tickets. You know, you could actually, assuming you're in front of your computer, I wouldn't do this if you're driving, but if you're in front of your computer, you can go to thesundevils.com right now and find out about season tickets for women's basketball. And Coach A has said it, I'll say it, the sooner for your sake, the better, because it's going to be an awful lot of fun at Desert Financial Arena this winter, and you're going to want the best seats available, and they're available for you to look into purchasing right now at thesundevils.com. We have another newcomer to our program that we bring on at this segment. And again, it's a student athlete with a whole lot of experience, and a whole lot of experience in the Big 12, which is obviously the new conference for ASU. We are very pleased to welcome to our program Jazion Jackson, although everybody calls you Jazz, right? We can call you Jazz.
Yeah, you can call me Jazz.
Outstanding. Well, welcome aboard. And this is, first of all, 5'9" guard out of Dallas. You played both at Texas Tech and at Texas El Paso. And so coming to Arizona State, it's a question I've asked the other guests we've had on. What attracted you to Coach A in the ASU program?
Coach A.
I get that.
I feel like she's a really good mentor. From what I've heard, she's a really good coach. And I just see how she was interacting with her players on my visit. And I've heard a lot of good things. I've talked to a lot of different people. Just like they did their research on me, I did my research as well. And that kind of just what drove me here to Arizona.
And you also played in North Texas. We should point that out as well. And your best year came at Texas El Paso, which I believe that at the time Conference USA, correct?
Yes.
You do have experience being around the Texas Tech program. I'm sure there's going to be, maybe not so much right now because the focus is on the team, developing the chemistry, getting everything in place for the season through the practices at the Weather Up Center. But I would bet that maybe your teammates have asked you a few questions already about going to places like Lubbock and other places in the Big 12. Have they asked?
Yes, they have. I've heard a lot of different questions about Lubbock. Not necessarily the other schools in the conference, but I've heard a lot of different things about Lubbock.
Well, ASU was there. I'm trying to think the last time the program was there was 2014. And I don't know if you're familiar with a lot of the places around campus, but I've already told people Spanky's is the place to go get a good sandwich.
Oh, okay. I'll note that.
Oh, you see, now you were a diligent student. You were concentrating on your studies. You didn't have time to go. Right. I mean, but there's a place, you can find it on the web. It's just a little sports bar across the street. And we were there in November, so there was football going on the night we were there. And football in Texas. Wow, what a big deal that is, obviously. Tell us a little bit about your game. What are the strengths of Jazz Jackson's game?
I would say I'm a very passionate player, and I think my passion comes on defense, it comes on offense, but you'll see my excitement, you'll see the energy that I play with. I may be shy off the court, but on the court I feel like, that's where I handle my business and get things done. So I'm a very energetic player, passionate player who loves the game of basketball, and it'll show when you see me play.
Coach, I keep asking the players who come in what attracted them to you.
Oh my gosh,
let's turn this around. You tell me about what you're excited about seeing Jazz Jackson.
Oh, man. Well, first of all, Jazz, it's character first, right? I mean, aside from talent, just a good person, just a relentless worker. Yes, we did our homework, right, Jazz? We did our homework, but we want to have good people. The culture in our locker room is important to me. And so she checks off all of those boxes as far as character and tangibles as a person, as a worker, as a winner, right? She's a winner. And I think that's first and foremost. But then you talk about who she is on the court. She said it. I mean, her passion, she's relentless. Call her J Money. I mean, she is just, you put her anywhere on the court, she is going to make her teammates better, right? Phenomenal leader, has experience, and just she can score at every level. I talked about us having players that can play at the next level. Jazz can play at the next level. and have a successful career, because she's a matchup nightmare. You close out on her, she's going to beat you. Her mid-range game, which a lot of people don't talk about that much anymore, is deadly. You know, she's not just a three or a layup. She can get in that mid-range and 15, 17 feet. She'll make you pay, but has range from three, has a basketball IQ. Just stop me whenever you want. I mean, again, we got better with Jazz, and in every aspect. So I'm so grateful that you said yes, that she said yes. And then also having that Big 12 experience helps. I mean, she knows what it's like. She's been in those arenas, and I think that'll help our team as well.
A lot of times, Jazz, statistics don't tell the whole story about a player, but I think when Coach talks about matchup nightmare, I do think there's some stats here that kind of illustrate what a matchup nightmare you can be, because at UTEP, you were not only second on the team in scoring at 11 points a game, but you also averaged nearly 6 rebounds a game, 2 assists, and 2 steals. So it's an all-around game, and when I see the 2.06 steals per game, that tells me you really enjoy working on the defensive end.
Yes.
Definitely.
See that smile? You see that smile? See that smile? And I'm smiling too.
And defense turns into offense. We all know about that. And I also would like to find out how you feel about, you've had a chance to work out at the Weatherup Center with Ty Skinner. It's got to be really exciting to have an all-conference level point guard to get you the ball.
Yeah, it's really just, I feel like on my visit I fit. When they were talking about basketball, I just put myself in there, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I feel like these are people that I can play with. But Ty's great. She's been nothing short of a leader. She's always helping me out with different things, different angles, things that I may not work on, things that I see her do. And I'm like, okay, maybe I need to put that in my bag. It's just different stuff like that. So just having different people around you, and it's not just Ty, it's everybody else on the team as well. So I just been learning and soaking up, being a sponge when it comes to her and on the point guard end as well.
Okay, so I need to know this now because Coach already called you J Money.
Yeah.
Is that all right if I use that on the air some night during a game?
I didn't even get that approved. I didn't get that approved by her, but
okay. See, now we're getting a little bit of inside info. Do you approve of that, Jazz?
Yeah, I approve of that.
You approve of of Coach A doing it. Maybe the play-by-play guy doesn't need to do it so much.
No, you can do it.
Okay,
you can come up
there we go. There we go.
Maybe.
J Money. I like that. See, my name is kind of J Money too. No, it's not?
No.
Okay, Sean Cressman says it's not. Oh, no. Ty gave me my nickname. So, okay, well, that's just another story for another segment. Listen, Jazz, we are very, very excited about having you as part of the program for a whole bunch of reasons. And your leadership, your skills, what you bring to the table in terms of on-the-court performance. But as Coach A said, the character aspect as well. So welcome to the family. We look forward to seeing you in uniform this winter at Desert Financial Arena, and continued success at the Weatherup Center. Thanks for being with us.
Well,
Thank
Jeff,
you.
maybe Jazz can tell our fans why they should get their season tickets.
Yeah, Jazz, why don't you do that? If there are any fans that are listening now that are still kind of like, okay, do I really want to get season tickets? Tell them why they should get season tickets.
I just don't think you should second guess it. If you want to come see a show, we have the talent, we have the pieces, and I think it's going to be, our season is going to be special. It's going to be very special, and I think you should, buy stock now, get your tickets now, so you don't have to worry about, trying to get them later on in the season when we're rolling and we're, people are hearing about us. And there's going to be a lot of buzz coming this year, and we're going to be a really exciting team to watch. So I think you should go get those right now.
That's the best sales pitch you could ask for, right, Coach?
Absolutely.
Jazz, thanks very much. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for having me.
Jazz
Great
Jackson
job,
with
Jazz.
us. And yeah, the SunDevils.com. Tell them Jazz sent you. And when we come back, more of our Summer Series podcast. And I'll explain what my nickname is a little bit later on. Thanks for joining us again for this Summer Series podcast. And I'll mention again that we will have 2 more before the season starts. And you might think to yourself, boy, the season's a long way away. It's the middle of summer. It's a little bit closer than you think. And that's why you need to get onto the sundevils.com and find out about season tickets now. We've had a lot of newcomers join us on the program. Now, Coach, we bring on a returnee and a very important one from last year, a transfer from Louisville. But our fans are very familiar with Jalyn Brown, and she joins us now. Jalyn, how are you?
I'm great. I'm living life.
Yeah, and I've been at practices, and I can see how much fun you've been having. And you're a returnee, so I think you have a great appreciation, I'm sure, for going to practice and looking around and seeing there's Kennedy Basham, there's Heavenly Greer, there's Jazion Jackson. Oh, Ty Skinner's back and healthy. So I would imagine that as a returning player, you got to be really excited about the potential of this team.
Look at that smile.
Yeah.
100%. I'm definitely excited. I think that there's a new energy. There's a new vibe of the team. There's a new aura. I think everybody works really, really hard, and everybody's just really excited to work together. So I'm definitely excited to see it all come together in November.
We were talking with Kennedy Basham earlier in the podcast about the versatility of this offense, and our fans are very familiar with your offensive game. I would think that having players, and it's not just Kennedy, there's a number of players who bring size, athleticism, and rebounding to the table. That's going to make it so much easier on you as a scorer, because they can get rebounds, second chance opportunities, or they can get defensive boards. You can get out and run. So there's a whole lot of new opportunities that open up for you offensively this year.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. For me as a big guard, I have to rebound as well. But when
I was going to say,
did you see how she went? Yeah.
She's still going to rebound. She's still going to rebound.
Well, she'll still rebound. But, Coach, did you notice when she started her answer, she went, yeah. I got a lot more opportunities.
She does. She does.
Right.
Go ahead. We interrupted, Jalyn. Go ahead.
It's fine. But yeah, as a guard, I have to rebound as well. But just having more options, like now you can't put me in a box. Now you can't send 3 people at me because you have to worry about guarding the entire team. So honestly, it's just opening up many opportunities, not just for me, but for everybody, because you kind of just have to pick your poison. You're either going to want to go get cooked by Ty, you're going to want to get cooked by me, or you could go down there and get cooked by Kennedy. It's really up to you. So I just think that the way that we play and the way that we're getting in the style that we're getting instilled in us, I just think that it fits for how all of us play. And I think that together, it's going to be crazy.
I know, Coach, that you look to Jalyn as a leader in the sense that with so many new players coming in as transfers, and she's been through it, going through the process of getting settled in at a new campus and a new program, that you're looking to Jalyn to help these new players kind of make that same adjustment.
Well, and Ice is such a leader, and she's a big sister. I mean, she wears her heart on the outside of her body. She cares about each and every teammate, and they know that. Even though we have veterans, it's still a new environment, and so she's the one that's helping them get acclimated. She's the one in the locker room. She's the one that's kind of answering that call if they have questions, even about the area or what's on campus or how do you get to X, Y, and Z. But just leading by example too. That's the other thing. She knows, she's been a part of it. She knows the expectations. And I think that they've all gravitated to one another. But the other thing that I want to echo is just how Ice and the returners rallied around recruiting for our program. They were very intentional about making sure not only talent, but the right people, the right pieces, the character, everything had to match. And so it was a coaching effort, obviously, in identifying the right players. But I'll say Ice spearheaded bringing it home. And so that just speaks for her leadership, but also the buy-in and just what she means to this program on and off the court.
That's a great point. And Jalyn, in talking about that and what Coach A is talking about, how players like yourself and Ty and the other returnees playing a part in bringing in the right player in terms of chemistry, in terms of attitude, you obviously know what works in a Natasha Adair program. So I would think that was something that you were looking at players coming into saying, okay, we have to make certain that this player understands what the family concept of Coach A's program is all about.
I think Coach A instills a lot of things into us, and I think that she's a mom, and you want people around you who have the correct values, the correct morals, and you want people that work hard. You want people you can trust. You want people, when you look to your left and you look to your right, you want those people to know that you guys are going to work together. So for me, like going into the recruiting process, like, yeah, I'll be like, hey, Coach A, she's good, but we bring her in, and it's like, do you understand what we genuinely value here? Are you willing to put in the work that we need you to do here? Another thing is people have roles. Everybody has a role. It's whether or not you buy into your role is whether you're going to be successful or not. So I just genuinely think we were looking for the pieces and honestly just missing puzzle pieces. That's what I like to say. It was one big old puzzle. We're putting it together. We had the pieces, had to find the pieces, and now we got the pieces. So now we're building the puzzle, and it's a beautiful painting.
It is. Yeah. It is. And I'll just add to that by saying in the practices that I've been to, I have noticed the togetherness of the group. And I know you all do a lot of things off the court as a team to kind of help build that togetherness. But that's always been a hallmark of Coach A's programs, is getting everybody on the same page and working together with one another. And I've really noticed that everybody, you talk about everybody has a role. It's obvious to me, everybody on this roster, it has a role. They understand their importance to everybody else in the group. And boy, that's got to be exciting too.
Yes, very, very exciting. It's very exciting.
That was another big yes. I like hearing that. Hearing that.
And Jeff, I think that those are things we communicate, right? I think that for us as a staff, we're very transparent to the players. We know that we need each piece to work, right? Ice talked about putting the pieces of the puzzle together. It's that masterpiece. Everyone can't do the same thing. And so, but it's our job, it's my job to make sure we celebrate everything, right? We're going to celebrate a screen assist. We're going to celebrate the right pass. We're going to celebrate that one more pass. We're going to celebrate that transition layup. We're going to celebrate the stop. So everything that we do matters. And once we start to build that culture and that chemistry, and we identify those things in practice first, we started our 3-on-3 tournament the other day, and we highlighted the fact that 3 people sprinted for a loose ball. I didn't have to say it. That's the culture. That's what we do. And so it's those extra effort plays and getting excited for your teammates. And I don't care who gets the credit. We don't have separate agendas. We don't have egos, but it's my job as a head coach to make sure every player and every player's need is met. And so I think that's the biggest thing. We talk about Ice, we talk about what she wants to do now and what she wants to do at the next level. Well, that has to translate in what we're doing, but that doesn't mean we take away from the next. And that's the beauty of the way that we play, the style that we play. And I think that's a benefit of our program and our system.
Let me wrap it up this way, Jalyn. We've talked a lot about transfers, and transfers are such a big part of any college athletic program nowadays. Going into year 2, it's got to be easier on you, knowing that you've gotten settled in Tempe, you know the campus, you know what Coach A expects of you. That second year's got to be a lot easier than the transfer year.
I love that you think that. I really do. I think that, genuinely speaking, I don't think it ever really gets easier because you get accustomed to things. You get accustomed to how things are supposed to go and, the people you're around, the environment. But I feel like I just get more and more hungry. So it's more of like it is easier. You kind of know what to expect, but I still have high expectations for myself and the rest of the team. So like, I don't say like, oh, it's going to get any easier. I really don't think it's going to get any easier. But I think that when you're around people you genuinely care about, you genuinely love, and you like, it doesn't feel like a job. When we're coming in to workouts, I'm smiling and we're doing conditioning. Like there's not a lot of disappointment. There's not a lot of attitudes. Like you don't have to worry about that. So for me, honestly, it is easier in a sense, but I still think it's going to be hard work. I think anything worth having is hard to obtain. And I'm just really excited to get get working. I don't complain too much. I put my head down and work, and I think that the rest of the team does the same. I think from a scoring perspective, I definitely do think it will be easier for me. I kind of know what I'm going to get. Obviously, going into a new conference, it's going to be a different playing style for sure. But once I get accustomed to that, I'm really, really excited to see what I can do this year.
And so are we. Jalyn, I appreciate you stopping by to visit with us, and we can't wait for November to get here. Thanks very much for being with us. Jalyn Brown with us, and we got one more guest. And I have a little surprise for our final guest on this podcast. She doesn't know I'm going to do this. I just thought this up yesterday while I was at practice. Coach A doesn't know this either. It's not bad. It's just our next guest is into fashion, and I've got a fashion assignment for her. And some of our fans may already know where I'm going with this.
I think I know where you're going, Jeff.
Yeah, I think you probably do. All right, so stay where you are, Sun Devil Nation. We'll be back right after whatever we're doing in between guests.
So during their break, go get your season tickets.
Right, the SunDevils.com. That's what you should do during the break. We continue on this Summer Series podcast, and a couple of reminders again. You can go to the SunDevils.com right now, find out about season tickets for women's basketball. And we have 2 more podcasts coming up this summer. Certainly we'll announce it through social media channels, where to find the podcast. Obviously, you found this one, so you use social media very well in that regard, and we'll do it again coming up a little bit later on this summer. But I remember we're in the interview room after the Pac-12 tournament game with Utah, and I think I said to you in the hallway, Coach, well, Ty Skinner's back on the roster as of right now. And we both kind of smiled, and that was the first sign to us that it was time to turn the page to a new year, and Ty Skinner's joining us right now. And I've been to enough practice to know the answer to this question, Ty. You must be very, very excited to be back on the floor.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely excited.
Are you having fun with all these new weapons you've got at your disposal?
Yeah, it's like a kid in a candy shop. I always say that.
And your teammates are probably pretty thrilled to have you out there getting them the ball, too.
Yeah, they're excited to have me out there. I'm excited to have them as well. Like you said, we have a bunch of new pieces, and just us getting along and gelling together each day. It's really been fun. We've really been enjoying the process with each other. And I think it's on like week 3. And it's just been so much fun just getting to know everybody and playing with them.
Coach, you talked a little bit earlier. Did you want to add something to that?
Well, I wanted Ty, because you and I talked about it earlier, and you said new pieces, and you talked about Ty's passing. But I want Ty to talk about how she's having to learn how to pass to 6'7", and then also shooting behind 6'7". So those are some things that are going on right now. So Ty, tell the fans about that adjustment that you have to make.
Passing to her, it's not that bad. I definitely, it's a 2-way street. I got to work on slowing it down a little bit. Putting it up there is definitely not a problem. She definitely could catch it if I just put the ball up there. But shooting behind the screen, I would say I got to do it strategically and make sure I step a little far back, because she blocks it for me. Like, if it's directly behind, I can't even see. She said it's just like, so I have to take a couple steps back if I shoot behind the screen. But for the most part, it's definitely been fun just passing to her and us getting our chemistry together.
I've seen that at practice, that you had to kind of make an adjustment working around screens of somebody 6'7" or 6'3" or 6'5". Coach talked in our first segment about obviously a very challenging year last year for you, not being able to play. But I noticed a lot of us could see the contribution you were making to the team in terms of being a mentor to the other guards. And you were doing, I wouldn't necessarily say coaching, but you were offering a lot of help and support to players during games. And I would think that kind of bond that you formed with your teammates, just being a mentor, carries over into this season.
Yes, I agree. For the returners who came back this year, yeah, I think that it definitely made us closer. And we always learn from each other. I know that you probably saw me on the camera talking to them, but they were just talking to me as much as I was talking to them and letting me know what they saw. And we was just working together as a team should. And like you said, I definitely think it brought us closer.
You know, it's interesting. Your first year at ASU, you took on a lot of the scoring responsibility, but there were so many injuries that you had to do that a lot of nights. Now you go into a situation where you've got inside scoring, you've got outside scoring, you've got players that can shoot from the wing. But we don't want to forget that Ty Skinner can score too. So it's an interesting balance you've got to hit. You want to get your teammates the ball, but you're as much an offensive threat as the other four players on the floor.
Yeah, I think I would say a lot of scoring point guards go through that. I would say a lot of just good basketball players in general go through that. If you're a competitor, you're definitely competing for a championship, and you want great pieces around you. You don't want mediocre. You don't want average. You want the best of the best. And I think that everybody has to make a sacrifice on their end, whether it's me, the shooting guard, post player. You know, some things is just we'll learn that together as we go through preseason and see what works and what doesn't work. But sacrifice is always for the better. The only thing that we all have in common, the main thing that we have in common is winning. So whatever we can do to win, that's all that really matters, whether I'm on that night or Ice is or Jazz is or Katie or Kennedy, whoever. It doesn't matter as long as, we get the win. So.
Coach was talking a few minutes ago about how the returning players had a role in the process of recruiting the transfer players in, from the standpoint of, what's important in terms of the team chemistry. I think really your perspective is deeper, stronger than even the other returning players, because you were with Coach A at Delaware. And so as well as anybody, what are the most important factors to a new player coming in, what they must bring to the table to fit into that team and family concept?
I would say, first off, just to be a good person. Coach A don't really recruit people who are the character doesn't match the team. Just being a good person and being themselves. She loves people like that. And when you come here, it's not you're getting recruited to be a part of our team. You're getting recruited to be a part of our family. So just seeing how they gel amongst the team and how we interact with them and are we getting along with them? All things that has nothing to do with basketball. If she's recruiting you, then you're good enough to play the basketball part of it. So I would definitely say it's really just the character and how they're getting along with the team, and just certain things that they do. We observe that as we get introduced to them on the visits, and whether it's at home visits or whatever, and whatever other aspect that's off the court. But if they have good character, they usually fit in really well. And Coach A and the coach staff, they have a really good eye for that. Like, they got a knack for picking people with really good character. So.
Yeah, and I've seen it in the practices myself, that the camaraderie, the togetherness, which also has to be really exciting for you, especially after sitting out last year, to get back on the floor and have an entire group that the togetherness of this group must be very, very special for you as one of the veteran leaders on this team.
It's definitely refreshing. I'm happy. I'm excited. I experienced this definitely when I first came to college, when my first 2 years with Coach A on a team that was already a veteran team, and it was the same as it is now, and that's the team I won a championship with, and this is the team I'm going to win a championship with as well, because of that. It's really because of that. It has nothing to do with talent. It has nothing to do with it's the people that are here and the people that she brought. These are her people, and because that's the case, it's going to take us really far. So.
All right,
it's
now,
refreshing.
Yeah, it's absolutely. Now, here's a little surprise that I had for you. I thought of this yesterday at practice. You have your own clothing line. We discussed that on one of the Top of the Valley shows last season, but you've also been, you always like to see what my Haley sweaters look like, and you've given me the thumbs up. I don't know if there's been a sweater you didn't like that I've worn.
Yeah, nah.
But here's what I want to do. Yeah, every year I add a new sweater to the collection. I do it usually about a month before the season starts. So here's what I'd like to ask you to do. What if it's sometime in October, we sat down with my computer and went online, and you pick out the new sweater to add to the collection this year? We're not
got you.
violating any rules, are we, Coach?
No, you're not
Okay,
violating.
because I'm paying for it. But would
Yeah.
you like to do that, Ty?
Yeah, nah, I like that.
Okay, so it's
But
official. What's that?
But there's one condition.
One
Yes.
condition.
This sweater that I'm picking out, you're gonna wear it on the championship day. I'm
On the
speaking into
championship day? Yeah,
You don't wear
absolutely.
it every day for the championship game
That's the only time I would wear it?
because we're gonna be there together. Yes.
Okay, I'm in because we're going to
Okay.
be there. So I just
Yes.
make sure to pack it for where, if we're here or on the road, that's fine. We'll do it at the
Yes,
Big
for
12
that game.
tournament when we're winning the championship at the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City, where it's going to be cold anyway, so I'd need a sweater. So see, that works out. All right, and we'll post it on social media. By the way, also, I got to share this with you too. Now, Ty has given me a nickname. You remember, you called me the OG.
Oh, gee.
Yeah. And it took me a few seconds to figure out what you meant by OG. I thought it was just old guy. And it's original gangster, right? Because, and I'll tell you, I know this. Last night, we're taping this on a Wednesday. They did a Family Feud special with Steve Harvey. And he was talking about the history of the show, and he mentioned the first host, Richard Dawson, and he said, the OG, Richard Dawson. And I immediately like, hey, I've heard that. OG. So we're going with that, right, Ty? I'm the OG.
Yeah. Nah, that's still your nickname.
That's my nickname.
Yeah, that's still your nickname.
Okay, just so you know, Coach Camille Collier said to me we should call Adidas and see if we can get an OG sweater designed in maroon and gold by Adidas.
I think we should do that. That would be.
Yeah. But your selection will be the one I wear when we're wrapping up the Big 12 tournament.
Championship game.
Yeah. And then any other championships we win after that, because we can win more championships after that. Does that sound like a deal?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. All right. Ty, I'm just so happy for you personally because I've gotten to know you, and I'm so happy that you're healthy, that you're back on the floor, and I can see how much happiness you have getting back out with your teammates. So continued good health and continued success, and we can't wait to see you back on the floor in November, and thanks very much for joining us.
Of course. Thank you, guys. Can't wait to see you as well.
Absolutely. Ty Skinner. And as I say, Coach, if you get to know, and this is true of just about every player on your roster, all your players, but especially with Ty, you get to know him and you start rooting for him because you just, you know,
people.
as people,
Right?
that's exactly it. So that's why, and I'm so happy for her. And I know you're happy too because you've been with Ty for such a long time that aside from what the success we're going to have with Ty on the floor, on a personal level, it's just it's very heartwarming to see her back on the floor and how happy she is.
Absolutely. Her energy is infectious. When Ty walks in the room, she lights up any room. She's super confident. But, when she went down, everyone's heart stopped. Everyone's heart stopped. So she's worked diligently. I mean, even the doctors are like, she just goes. And so she did it the right way. And so we're super excited. The players rally around her. She's rallying around them. She's leading from the front. But I just love how she really encompasses team. We're not going to do it by, each individual. It's a group effort. It's a team effort. It's a family. And so get your season tickets because Ty Skinner said it. Ice said it. Hev said it. Jazz said it. Kennedy Basham said it. And so I'm going to echo it. This is exciting. This is a special team. That can really do a lot and can win it all. And so you want to make sure you get your season tickets because you don't want them to be sold out and you're on the outside watching it from home. We need you and they cheering us on.
Absolutely. And I know that you've got a team event tonight that you got to get to, so we got to wrap things up. We can say what you're doing tonight in the next 60 seconds, right?
Absolutely. So again, for us, it's about team, and you know me, I love us building this connection, this culture as soon as the players get on campus. So we are fortunate to have our own theater here in ASU Gamage Theater, and so Hamilton is in town, and so the team is we're getting all dressed up tonight, and we're going to go to dinner tonight at Culinary Dropout, and then we are going to head over to Gamage and enjoy Hamilton. And for the players, most of them, the majority of them, have not seen a Broadway show, and so this is another experience for them in their growth and their maturation process. So the benefit of being at ASU is that we do have our own theater on campus, and we have Broadway plays, award-winning plays that are right here, and our players get to enjoy that and be a part of it. So another great team bonding event tonight.
Tremendous. Well, we didn't get to everything we wanted to get to, so that's why we're scheduling more podcasts. Coach, thanks very much for the time, and enjoy the play tonight, and we'll talk to you again on the podcast in a couple of weeks.
Well, I have one more thing.
Oh.
I heard that tomorrow is a super special day. So I am going to say happy birthday.
Thank you.
In advance. And, again, we're just super grateful to have you, Jeff, telling our story, being here right by our side. And I know your rich history with the program, but you have not skipped a beat with us. And for that, I say thank you.
Well,
have a very happy birthday tomorrow, and know that we absolutely love and care about you deeply.
Right back at you. I love all of you, and thank you very much, Coach. I really appreciate that. Okay, enjoy the play. I'll talk to you in a couple weeks, if not at practice.
Okay, see you soon.
Thanks, Coach.
Go Devils.
Go Devils. Coach A, Natasha Adair with us, indeed. Go Devils. And go to thesundevils.com to get your season tickets for ASU women's basketball. Again, check with social media. Our next podcast, we'll have 2 more during the summer before the season starts. So just stay with the Sun Devils women's basketball X account, any social media account. We'll get you the word on when the next podcast is coming up. And we thank you for joining us for this one. Till next time, I'm Jeff Munn. Thanks for being with us for the Summer Series podcast, part of Sun Devil Athletics on the Sun Devil Radio and YouTube networks.